whilst I just quit my job, I was already like almost 8 months pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. So and then I uh, I was home
Mm-hmm.
nursing my child for
Mm-hmm.
a while. So I think when she was like 1 year or more than, I found out I could do drop shipping
Mm-hmm.
from the house. I could
Okay.
call some people at the market, tell them what I needed for a customer. I just leveraged on the BlackBerry then,
Yeah.
to do business.
Blackberry, that was a long time
Yes,
ago.
yes. And it wasn't even pap at the time. It
Okay.
was clothing,
Okay.
just fashion pieces, bags, whatever it was at the time. It was just drop shipping basically.
Okay.
So from there
Was it a successful business or dropshipping?
well, it was very sustainable because like on a daily basis you'd get requests or orders, to orders sales basically. So it was, but it wasn't fulfilling for me.
Hi, I'm Hachi. Welcome to the Beauty on Business podcast, brought to you by Oze, the number one growth partner for small businesses across Africa. On this podcast, we talk to real business owners about their pure, unfiltered stories, the struggles, the journey, and the strategies that help them succeed. Today on the podcast, I have with me Adaobi, the CEO, founder of Papuna Foods. Hi, Adaobi.
Hi, Hashi, how are you?
I am doing very well. How has your day been so far?
Great.
I'm going to start with the question I always ask everybody, the same question, right? I'm going to build a scenario. You've had a bad day, nothing is working.
Mm.
What's one meal that can instantly change your mood? You
There's a
can't say pap.
lot, but my favorite is always like beans and plantain. I
Beans and
don't know.
plantain. Honestly, that's a good option. Underrated but very good option. I
Thank
love
you.
I love beans and plantain. I love beans and plantain.
Oh my god.
That's good. So you are co-founder of Papuna Foods. Tell me a bit. I mean, I know what Papuna Foods is, but for the people watching back home, what does Papuna Foods do?
Okay, so at Papuna Foods, we make and sell freshly prepared and hygienically prepared fruits and nuts infused pap, especially for babies
Mhm.
and also for the entire family as well.
Yeah, because I was like, there's no reason why babies are eating like fruit infused pap, and I can't.
Yeah,
I like pap. I
yeah.
like fruits. I should be able to have both.
Yes.
So as an adult, I can have it too.
Yes, of course.
All right. That's good. That's good. So basically, fruit are not infused, healthy pap.
Yes, please.
Now, I've known pap. I'm Nigerian,
Mm.
and pap is a local delicacy here in Nigeria. Like I said, it's local, and there are only a few ways to make it.
Yes.
I've never been familiar with fruits infused, all of that. Why? Why did you decide to infuse fruits? I in fruits and nuts into pap.
Okay, so growing up, I've always known the plain, the bland, white corn pap, yellow corn pap,
Yeah.
the guinea corn that
Yeah,
has
guinea
the
corn.
reddish or brownish color,
Yeah.
So over the time, I'm like, why can't we infuse? Or okay, let me roll it back. When I had my first child,
Yeah.
and we had a little bit of complications during her the time I gave birth to her, and so she wasn't. She was on drugs like constantly, and then at some point she was losing weight because I wasn't lactating well. So I made up my mind that once it was weaning time, I will give her everything nourishing for her health and all of that.
Yeah.
So okay, so I started making pap for her. I learned how to make pap. I started making pap for her, and then I heard that you could add crayfish. I heard that you could add groundnuts. So I started trying out. Okay, if I could add this, then I can blend banana and add to this. So from there, the idea came in to fortify these paps and give these babies healthy and nourishing
Okay. Interesting.
indigenous
When you
foods. Yeah.
say you learned how to make pap, what does that mean? Because like there is buy pap, make pap, like you buy the raw form and
Yeah.
make it, which apparently is a skill that most people don't have.
Okay.
Like when you put the hot water and you make it, some people can make it.
Yes, of course.
But was that making pap, or did you learn how to make it from scratch?
Okay, the making aspect. Okay, I learned how to make it from scratch.
Why was that?
When was that?
Why?
I had to for the business aspect or for
For
my
your yeah,
child,
yeah.
I had to learn how to make pap from the scratch for my child.
Okay.
Okay,
Was that health? Was that for health reasons?
for
Because you wanted.
health reasons,
Okay.
and also to be sure of the environment this pap was processed, whatever content was put in it. I wanted to be 100% sure.
Yeah,
Like
because a
I
lot of the ones that are sold in markets, like they're not very hygienic, right?
the thing is, let me just give you a backstory. I One of the times, because I didn't have, like, then there were no Bucci mix blenders that had to, blend, crush these corns and
Mhm.
all of that. So I had to take it to the market. Of course, when I get to the local markets, I'll just beg them to please, sanitize their machine so that I could
Mhm.
grind for my child. Okay. So one of those days I noticed by the corner where someone soaked corn, you know, the place was a mess. And apparently, there was no way, nobody's telling me anything, this person was going to sell this corn. And
Mm.
in that environment, it was appalling. I don't know, I had to even video it. I just put it for keeps so that I could tell people, compare what they buy outside that they don't even know what it would,
Mhm.
what it contains and what we are selling
What
to
you're
them.
selling,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was what I
yeah.
did.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I know that for many food processors, especially ones that sell in like the local markets,
Mm.
hygiene is not a big concern,
Yeah.
right? And they just want to do what their business and get out of the way. But before we go back into like Papuna Foods and the
Oh,
intricacies of your business,
okay.
I'm curious about how you got into business. Did you always know you'd do business?
Mm, okay, so I never for one day thought of doing business, like maybe growing up or at my uni stage. No, I just wanted to go to school, work the 9 to 5, dress nicely to the
To the
office and
office.
all of that. So, business was no, 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 no. Business wasn't my thing at all. It was
Mhm.
never.
So you didn't start out as a business person, correct?
Okay, I know I
You
didn't,
you
but it was there.
was there.
It was there.
How?
But I
Tell me,
think
tell me the story.
the thing is, okay, so I just remembered that in school,
Mm-hmm.
I sold any and anything, like any and everything rather.
Okay.
I can remember then my auntie would take me to one of her uncle that had it was in Onitsha because
Okay.
I schooled Madonna. So um the man brought things from China, like brought
Okay.
t-shirts from China, and they were so cheap. So I'll just buy them, a lot of them, with my pocket money, and then I'll go back when I go back to school. I sell so that at least I can expand my pocket money.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't even know I had that. But well, it wasn't for business. My thoughts were I just wanted to make more money so that this money will last me for.
For a
But that
longer
was
time.
business.
Yeah, it was. It was. Essentially, the reason a lot of people go into business is to make money, to
Yeah.
add, like to make money to survive,
Yes.
which is what you were doing,
Yes.
right? But that was so. If we're thinking about your story,
Mm.
that would be your first business,
Yes.
buying stuff from your uncle
Mm-hmm.
and coming to resell it in
Mm-hmm.
school.
Mm-hmm.
But as of then, you didn't think about it as, oh, this is a business, something I want to do and grow. It was just, I'm just didn't survive. And you said post school, you didn't go into business directly, did you? What did you do after school?
Okay,
You worked a
so
job,
I
right?
worked, yes.
Okay.
I
Mm.
worked with a facility management company.
For how many years?
It wasn't okay. It wasn't. The thing is, I had I had a job. It was an intern job
Okay.
work at a furniture outfit,
Mm-hmm.
but that didn't last for a while because the business wasn't sustainable for
Okay.
them. So I had to quit at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got into this facility. That's my proper job,
Mm-hmm.
but I worked for about 9 months, not up to a year.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
So it
and
was
then
short-lived.
it
So that
was
means that
short-lived.
you've actually spent most of your life doing business.
Oh yes,
Because you did business in school. When you
yes.
finished school, you worked for a bit,
Yeah.
and then you started this. So what was the journey like doing from working in 9 to 5 to doing this business that you do today?
Okay, okay. The thing is, it was just a bumpy ride. Like I said, okay. Whilst I just quit my job,
Mhm.
I was already like almost 8 months pregnant.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. Okay. So and then I uh I was home
Mm-hmm.
nursing my child for
Mm-hmm.
a while. So I think when she was like 1 year or more, than I found out that you could do drop shipping.
Mhm.
from the house. I could,
Okay.
call some people at the markets, tell them what I needed for a customer. I just leveraged on the BlackBerry then,
Yeah.
to do business.
BlackBerry. That was a long time
Yes,
ago.
yes. And it wasn't even pap at the time. It
Okay.
was clothing,
Okay.
just fashion pieces,
Mhm.
bags, whatever it was at the time. I would just, call up we're just drop shipping basically.
Okay.
So from there
Was
I
was it was it a successful business or dropshipping you did?
well, it was very sustainable because like on a daily basis you'd get requests or orders,
Mhm.
to orders sales basically.
Mhm.
So it was, but it wasn't fulfilling for me.
Mhm.
I didn't feel it was fulfilling because there were so many challenges.
Mhm.
Sometimes there was a case of what's it called, what you ordered,
What you
but
versus what
yes,
you got?
even
Yeah.
while you're here in
Yeah.
Nigeria, you see
Oh,
pictures, you see very beautiful pictures, and then when they send this item to you is
it
nothing
looks
like
very
what you
different.
what you ordered, and then you have already ordered for another customer, like the way
Yeah.
drop shipping works.
Yeah, yeah,
So
because
yeah.
in drop shipping you're like a middleman between
Yes.
the person who makes the item and the person who wants it.
Yes.
So you buy from this person to sell to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get the item you can't sell to the person because it's not what that person wants,
Because
right?
that's like a loss.
That's
So
fascinating. How did you manage those relationships? Did you just tell them sorry I can't, and then you refund to
no,
them?
at some point you have to refund. You
Mhm.
know, at some point, if maybe you could talk to the customer to choose another option, if that works.
If that
And
works, yeah. Okay. And then it was around what time did you decide to go fully into making healthy infused pap?
okay, so like I said, I felt then it wasn't fulfilling because these things were other people's um products
Yeah.
that I
Wasn't your
was,
own
yes, it
wasn't your own
wasn't
product.
I didn't feel fulfilled. I needed my own thing. Okay, so I thought about going into clothing because I have always had the idea from the jump, but there were so many challenges, and I'm still going back to it.
You're still going
Yes,
back to
but
clothing
maybe in the near future.
in the future. Okay.
So whilst this drop shipping business hit rock bottom, I was thinking to myself, at this point, what can I do that isn't so capital intensive?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it, and then it just popped in my head that what you can make pap, and there are people who you know people who for them this is a problem that you are going to be solving. I
Okay.
don't know if you understand what I
Yeah, I
mean.
do.
So I just said to myself, okay, let me even start. I went to the market, bought was just like the painter. That's how they measure
Mhm.
it, the painter, and then got some few equipment, and then talk to one or two family members
Mhm.
that this is what I'm doing. Some of them
Yeah.
were just laughing, like, okay, from selling clothes to
To selling
making pap.
making
But
pap.
I just found out that with 16,000 naira, I can't forget
Yeah.
that I started the business with 16,000, and it was, well, it wasn't capital intensive,
Sixteen
and I have
thousand.
grown it
That
up
that
to.
was that was the price of the first batch of corn you bought.
That wasn't even the price. That was the total of everything that I got at the time, plus the buckets, the sieve, the corn, everything I needed to process.
16,000 naira.
Yes, yes, please. And that was in 2018.
2018.
Yes, please.
Fantastic.
So that was it for me. Because
So
I don't know.
you started with 16,000 naira. What was after you got your corn? You said you called a few family friends and
Yes.
said, but at this time you were already making this healthy infused um for your kids,
Oh
right?
yes.
So it was like, oh, I know how to make this for my kids. Now I want to sell it, package it, and sell to other people.
Yes,
And you
please.
started with family and friends. What was that like? How did they buy?
Because they did.
They did.
Yes.
You have good family and friends, you know.
My first buy was from my husband's cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, she told me, oh my God, that they take a lot of pap in their house, so
Mhm.
that I should make already. And then she was my first, and then from there,
From
rest is
there.
history.
Interesting, interesting. I mean, going from I know your Instagram page,
Okay.
and I know you have thousands of followers
Hmm.
today, and you sell across the country, even
Yes,
outside the
please.
country right now. How did you go from family and friends to building a business that other people, strangers, find? Like, how did you do that?
Okay, so um Like everyone else, I leveraged on social media because
Okay.
that's apart from the family and friends that they were my go-to,
Mhm.
social media exposure.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's basically
Did
it.
you already have a big social media following before then?
Oh no, I grew it from scratch.
From scratch.
Yes.
Okay. How? Because
Ah.
when you said like everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of those everyone else's. And a bunch of us are watching this
Yes.
are not like there are people who are actively trying to grow their social media to the
Okay.
end aren't succeeding.
Okay.
And I'm just curious, like, what did you do that worked for you?
Oh, okay. If I go down memory lane, I know that I basically showed up more because if anyone asks me, most of the time, or social media has just been basically my sales platform.
Mm-hmm,
Once in a while, I do sponsored ads.
mm-hmm,
Then, if I know of a few, maybe openings for the fair thing,
mm-hmm.
I go for like
Was
the
the
fair
trade
around
fairs?
my vicinity.
Mm-hmm,
You know, social media marketing, basically.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you it's like videos? Are you do you do like regular videos? How often do you post? Or did
Okay,
you?
then.
And let's go back to when you first started. How often did you post?
Okay. When I started, I almost every day. Almost
That's
every day.
consistency right there.
Yes,
That's
that's consistency.
consistency.
Almost every day because with my with the drop shipping business I had
Mm-hmm,
before that was also thriving on
mm-hmm,
Instagram, I noticed because I had these pictures like randomly sent to me, I
mm-hmm,
was always posting almost on the hour.
mm-hmm,
So I noticed one thing when you're constantly posting,
mm-hmm,
that's not to say that it might work for everyone else, but
mm-hmm.
when you are like in the face of people,
Yeah.
what's going on, people are wondering what you know
What exactly is it that you are selling that you
you
can't?
know the algorithm sees what you're
Yeah.
doing and starts to send these things out to the people
Mm-hmm.
who like your audience, the people who need to buy these things. So I was just consistent
Constant.
with social media
Social media.
basically.
That's interesting. I think something that happens with a lot of people, whether they're in business or they're in content creation, is you start posting and you don't get responses or you don't get sales, and then people get frustrated and they stop. Now, of course, you can tell them don't get frustrated, but like, what was your secret? Did you have times where you were posting and like maybe it wasn't quite selling?
Yes.
How did you push past it?
This question just brought back something. There were times when I started this business, and when I started the business, that I would make some posts and no sales at all.
Mhm.
I can remember one time I was on my bed, I was frustrated, and I didn't know what to do. I- it's strange because I think I just want a little bit of that moment back where you were just literally a little bit free, like
Too much success. She's talking about too much
it
success.
would be a little bit free. So I was there brainstorming. Like I had some paps in the freezer I needed to sell. So she just told me, just get out there, do put the packaging. I got a cardboard because I had for my kids stationery.
Mhm.
So I got a cardboard. Put it. I went out to the balcony so I can get natural light.
Okay.
Then I put it, and then I think I found some cubes, something from their toys. So I put it around the product, and then took a nice positional picture,
Yeah.
and then I posted it on Instagram at that time. I I think after the post, I had like two or three people. I want this particular. It was so I noticed that I had to put in the work.
Mhm.
From there, I had to get props, things that at least would catch my
Mm.
audience's interest.
Interest.
So I started looking out for more things to expand the business.
Interesting. You mentioned something that is interesting, and it's um it's smart, but in an unexpected way. It's not something you're supposed to think of. You you're selling a product that is for kids, and then you take a picture of the product with kids' toys,
Mm.
and that brought sales. That's that's interesting. Like I wouldn't have thought about that. some people would have gone to bring babies and show babies eating the food.
that that reminded me of one thing I did. Like then I in 2019 I had my last child.
Mhm.
So these things just come in. It's crazy because
Mhm.
I'm a mom and I understand how these people feel as well.
Yeah.
So I took a picture when I was suckling my baby.
Mhm.
I took something decent when my baby was sucking and I put it out there because I wanted to market the pap that was for nursing moms.
Mhm.
And that was it. It blew everyone's mind. It
Mhm.
was something that I was praying that my husband doesn't get to see because,
Mhm.
because he had to show a part of, but it's
Yeah.
only natural, you know?
Yeah.
So these are the things that I didn't remember when you asked me because these are the things that I had to do to push apart from just, posting consistently every day. I
Yeah.
had to look for things that I could do to endear my target audience.
Yeah. What this really tells me is it's important to know your audience.
Hmm.
I mean, it's even better if you are part of your audience. Like you're a mom
Mm-hmm.
and you're selling to moms,
Hmm.
and so that means that you can think like a mom.
Yes.
And it's but that's like not very common. For we find businesses, even big businesses, make the same mistakes, make that mistake of selling to an audience they don't really understand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but back to your story,
Okay.
you've gone from selling to family and friends
Yes, please.
to selling to thousands of people on the internet. I think you delivered over 10,000 people so far,
Mm.
right? And I remember I went on your page a few days back and I was seeing your pap in stores, in like actual stores where supermarkets, and that seems like a lot of growth. But I'm curious, how did you start getting into stores? Because most people just I'm selling online and that's fine.
Mm.
Maybe open a website and put stuff there and they're good. But you started going to stores and stocking your goods in stores. First, what inspired that? Two, how did you get it done?
Okay, so let me start with what inspired it. So sometimes customers will complain, oh, um, I want your pap, but the delivery fee, I can't pay, or it's too much, or
Mhm. Yeah,
So I'm like, I need to get this thing close
it's
to these
close to your
people.
customers. Yeah,
Yes,
distribution.
it's still okay to sell online to people who can afford to pay,
Mm-hmm.
but for the people who would rather just walk into the stores and pick it up, let me consider them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that um part of the business was inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The how?
how did I
Yeah.
start? Okay, so you know what? In 2000, okay, no, 2020,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, 2021, I I decided to go and get my business registered with NAFDAC
Okay.
because I know that that will give me the leverage. Most of these local stores you enter, they're like, if you don't have NAFDAC, we can't take
Yeah.
your products.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I just have to get this to at least give my business a beautiful overview and all of that. So I had to go and get NAFDAC, and then with NAFDAC, you can actually walk into any store, pitch your product to them, and then if it's something they like or would feel that they would sell,
Mm-hmm.
then that's
Comfortable
it.
with it. That's good.
So
And once you
NAFDAC,
got the NAVDAC registration, it was easy to
I won't say easy, but
at least the
it
conversation
was,
could proceed past.
you know,
Go and get your NAVDAC registration.
yes,
That's
please.
good. That's good. That's good. I was going to ask. We've asked the why,
Mm,
why you did that, what
mm,
inspired you, and then the how. I'm curious. How do you think about supermarkets to put your stock in? Because like there are over 1,000 supermarkets
yes, please.
right across the country, maybe tens of thousands.
Hmm.
How do you choose what supermarkets to stock?
Okay. This is something that, I'm still trying to navigate up until now. But at the point where I am at, um, I've been going to several supermarkets to, pitch products. But with the system here in Nigeria, it is a little difficult because some of them would accept your products
Mm-hmm.
and they'll tell you it is ROI, what they call it,
ROI.
not what they have a term, uh, return on. not return on investment. I can't even remember, but there's something they call it. So you would just have your products on the shelves
Mm-hmm.
or the freezers, wherever, and you wouldn't they wouldn't pay you until the products are
Sold.
exhausted. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sold.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for a small business, like you can imagine.
Yes, that's
So
probably
I
a
have
cash flow
to.
nightmare.
So sometimes I have to go to the store and do like a content, create a content
Mm-hmm.
there just to get people, and then probably do a sponsored ad and all of that. So but now we've narrowed down to the people who pay us, the stores who pay us.
Mm-hmm.
There are stores that we get to, okay, like 2 weeks your payments will be ready,
Yeah.
and that's fine. So all I do is go back to my social media, tell my customers, oh, we've got a good spot for you here. It just gives us the lack of a better word,
Distribution. It allows it is distribution at the end of the
and
day.
then at least it's something that we know that, okay, once this, if it doesn't even sell after 2 weeks, we'll get our money and
Mm.
still use the money to push,
To push, yeah.
unlike sitting on
But
the
and that,
shelves.
that must be lovely for your customers,
Yeah.
especially people who want you to put it like, okay, now they no longer have to wait maybe a day, 2 days to get their deliveries. Now they can walk into a store near them to buy it. That must be great for them, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Have you had customers reach out to you and say, "Oh, I got this at this store and I loved it"?
Oh, sometimes they call me that the store is out of stock.
That's
That I
good.
need to
That's such a
I
good
need to
problem.
restock.
That's a good problem to have. Okay, so back to your business, and
Yes,
we're
please.
still on topic of your business.
Yes.
Um, when you started this, you started alone, right? You were the only one working in this business, which is
Yes.
16,000 naira.
Yes, please.
16,000 naira and a
Proudly.
dream in 2018.
Yes, please.
Now you have employees.
Oh, yes, I
You
do.
have a factory.
Yes, I do.
I've been there,
Yes.
so I know. I know.
Our
I've been
mini
there.
production area.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've been there. There's an entire production area with like people working there, wearing hairnets and and lab coats, and it feels very formal. Um, how does it feel being a manager now, where you're not the one actively doing all the steps, but now you manage? How does that feel? How is it different from when you used to do it yourself?
Okay. When I okay, now, like you said, I manage, because then I was production was me.
Was
I
you?
was
Yeah.
production, so I literally see these things myself. But now I just supervise, and then coordinate, direct at some point. So it feels great, because I almost got a backache from sieving, because from one paint, it grew to one bag, and
Yeah, and all, yeah.
so getting workers relieves stress, and then at least allows me to think, project, and then put the business out there more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you can
so
focus. I mean, if you don't have
focus,
focus on production, you can focus on the rest,
focus. Yes,
which is important
yes,
if
please.
you want to grow a business. But what I think is expanding your business to the point where you have employees comes with new problems,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you didn't have employees, production was you, and so on.
Yes.
But now you have new problems. What are some of those new problems that you've had since expanding to have customers, to have employees?
Okay, so sometimes it comes with staff not being proactive.
Okay.
Okay, so when it was only me, I could maybe ration project, or forecast, or you know there are things I know I could do, but these people, they just come to work. No one is
Yeah.
going to tell you, oh, this is let's do this so that this will happen, or it's
Mhm.
basically no. Most of them are not proactive. That's my challenge with
It's
having the staff now, or like when I was doing it, alone by myself.
Yeah, it's something. As just before we started, I
Okay,
was having a conversation with someone here
okay,
in the
okay,
studio
okay.
about being an entrepreneur. So
Hmm.
they'd asked me why I was interviewing entrepreneurs, and if I saw myself as an entrepreneur. I was like, yeah, I do. And the question they'd asked was, and I was trying to explain to them that being an entrepreneur is mostly a mindset thing.
Okay.
And what I was explaining was, I call that ownership, right? Which is like having a sense of ownership, which is, I think, what you've described with proactive. Because if you have a sense of ownership about something,
Mm.
you're proactive about it,
Yes.
right? So you want to see to the success of that thing. You have independent. How can we make this better? But
Mm-hmm.
I get the sense that Sometimes with employees, you don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Because some people just want to work and go.
Yes.
But have you found a way around solving for that?
Okay. I have. I I think for me, gratification has come into play for some
Mm.
of them when you are proactive, when you do something like I'm trying to find a scenario, but I just reward them.
No. For
Yes,
being proactive.
for being proactive.
That's good. That's good.
I
That's good.
reward them for being proactive, and then yes, and at some point when you impress the company, you get a pay raise. So
That's good.
yes, so
That's
I
good.
I
What
try
are,
to.
what are what are some of the things that employees have done in the past that you've rewarded like that?
Oh, well, can I remember now? Because I'm blank. Hmm. Uh, okay. So, there was a time I think I wasn't reachable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, one of my staff found out that because we're supposed to send out a particular order.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't reachable and maybe to navigate how it was going to be sent.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular staff of mine reached out to the lady,
Mm-hmm.
and luckily it was somewhere within his route.
Okay. Okay.
So he,
Yeah.
packaged neatly, and then this was done behind my back,
Yeah.
and went and without even any pay, like he used his own
He's
transport,
yeah.
made sure that was because I handled that I stressed on that particular order leaving that day, but there was something that they needed to get. I can't remember the scenario, but I was impressed,
Oh.
and he was rewarded.
And it wasn't was it his duty to
It
deliver that?
wasn't his
It
duty.
wasn't his duty, so he
No,
went out of his way
he
to do
went
it.
out of his way.
That's fantastic. And then you rewarded that, meaning
Of
that
course.
him and other people watching it
Yes.
are likely to reproduce that behavior in
Thank
the
you.
future. Let's talk about COVID. You started your business in 2018,
Yes.
which meant that your business was about 2 years old when the pandemic hit, thereabouts.
Yeah.
How did COVID affect your business?
Okay. COVID for me was more like an eye opener
Okay.
because it got me to know the importance of the kind of business that I'm doing. Because prior to COVID, I was on the verge of, I'm no longer doing this.
You're on the verge of quitting.
Yes, please.
Why?
It was really difficult to, market or, give a good dressing,
Okay.
lack of a better word, to an indigenous food that has been fairly stereotyped, if I would use that word as well. So it was difficult to push, even with all the packaging, all of the fruits and nuts. It's still pap. Do you
Yeah,
get
it's still
it?
What's
So
powdered pap?
oh well, we hadn't tried out pap. It was
You
just
hadn't done the powders there.
yes,
then,
it was
okay.
just paste pap at the time.
Mhm.
Yes. So with COVID, people couldn't do without food, especially for their
Yeah.
babies. And so there was a lot of will I say sentiments, because babies will have to eat. Like you could find any other thing to eat as an adult, but most people start out their
Kids
children,
with-
like wean them with
yeah.
pap. So
Semi-solids.
I was selling. Long
Really?
story short,
So COVID was a good time for you.
I made a lot of sales during COVID, to the extent that my husband had to at some point use the bicycle to go to give the neighbors. And yes, it was
That's so
a
cool.
good experience.
I mean, your husband, is he a part of the business?
No, he's not.
He's
But
not,
he
but
just
during COVID, he had to.
no, yes, he had to use his bicycle to. He was my delivery man.
That's so
Yes,
cool. What did COVID teach you about how people buy stuff? Did COVID teach you anything about how?
Okay. Yes. When okay, let me just put it this way. It will come to the extent where people would now narrow down to survival. It was more of what are we going to eat? How are we going to survive? You could imagine then I think in the US there was a point where paper towels were
Going
off
out of
the
stock,
shelf,
Yeah.
So nobody was talking about buying clothes. Nobody wanted a new cologne, sunshades. That was we just wanted to survive.
At the end of the
So
survival was
it
important.
taught me how sustainable the business
business
that
is.
I am doing is. Yeah, so
Interesting. Interesting. Because
It was a
COVID
learning
was
curve for
COVID
me.
was a different time for it's like different for different people. For some
Yes.
people, it was like their business just went downhill,
Yes.
right? For people like yours, your business just went up,
Oh,
which
yes.
is interesting to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you spent a few years running your business now, and you're very good at it, right?
Thank you.
my, but I wonder if you had to start the same business today, what are I'd say what are the top two, three lessons that you've learned so far
Hmm.
that you would quickly implement, things that you didn't know when you started, but you know for sure now?
Hmm. Okay, so I don't know if I'll start this business out again, given the opportunity without proper funding,
Mm-hmm.
because it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
Mm.
Okay, and then also um hmm, funding. Can I think of anything else again? Pretty much funding.
Funding. What kind of funding have you used? Did you like have to take on loans to do stuff?
Hmm. Okay, so yes, at some point I was frustrated into taking a loan,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if I'll say it pretty much elevated the business,
Mm-hmm.
but when I had like what I'll call an angel investor
Mm-hmm.
came in, then that was it for the
That was it.
business. Yes.
And was this at the very first stage? Because I know we had talked about there was a stage of the business where you were selling like the pap, the way it's made normally, but infused. But now you do powders, and the powder
Yes.
from stores longer, right?
Yes, it's the
And you
shelf
can then
life.
ship it across long distances,
Yes,
across
please.
country.
Yes, we do.
Was when did you need funding? Was it from the onset or at the point where you were trying to go over into the powdered bits?
Okay, no, I needed funding from the jump, from the get go.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have things like structure in place, because the market, this market is opening up. When
Mm-hmm.
I started out in 2000 and 2020,
2018.
2018 rather, there were not much people as there are now in the business.
Okay.
Yes, there were not much people, so the business is what is the business is opening up. People are
Yeah. So
beginning
you're
to
having more
see
people coming to.
more people coming,
Okay.
and then there's this challenge of machineries, because from just making paste pap, you might have to just grind and then sieve, and that's it. But with powdered pap, you have to dehydrate, you have to mill to fine powder, and you have machines help do the packaging, do the sealing.
Mm,
So machinery also is a
it's
challenge.
expensive.
Yes, and it's
That's
expensive. So
expensive. Yeah.
why we
So
need
I
to.
think funding is super important.
Hmm.
Um, and knowing how to get the right funding is like super important too. Um, you said your experience with funding has mostly been you took a loan one time,
Yes, I
and then
did.
the angel
Yes.
investment. Tell me about the angel investment. How did that
Okay,
happen?
so I pitched to my auntie.
Mhm.
In she's in the UK,
Okay.
and then she was actually looking out for some investments that she could make, so that
Hmm.
when she moves back to Nigeria, it wouldn't be much of a hassle looking
Mm,
for what to do.
yeah.
So that was that was right after COVID,
Okay.
and then I had to let her know my experience and how it was sustainable for me even when the world shut
Shut
down.
down. Yeah.
So she bought the idea and invested, and
Invested. That's
that
good.
was.
That's really good. I mean, in business we call that a friends and family investment. It's like we call that friends and family investment, which is good. I mean, it's good to have friends and family you can count on for investments. I
Yes.
mean, not a lot of people have that, but where it is very can be very useful for businesses. I'm curious. You've now been doing this for what, 7 years?
Yes, 7 years.
What is one mistake that you made maybe early on that, I mean, outside of maybe not starting because of food, like one mistake that you made that you've learned from, and other businesses may make the same mistake. And
The mistakes are plenty.
of course, of
There
course.
are plenty, but there was 2022 was very tough for me. It started out so tough
Mm,
because okay, so I made a trip during December. I went down to my hometown, and then okay, so starting of the year, I had made plans, purchased all our raw materials, and then with that time of the year, mothers will want to reorder because they may have exhausted what they bought, like with the
in
December
December.
rush rather. So we had taken orders, they had made payments, we had projected the timing for production, and then my staff did the worst. They didn't, most of them didn't show up, like
After coming back, or they didn't show up after the December
the
break.
the resumption time. They didn't come,
Yeah.
most of them didn't come. So it was, we were understaffed at the time, and it was chaotic because people were on our necks. We hadn't delivered. It was taking weeks at some point. it
That's
it was
insane.
overwhelming.
That's
it was
insane.
it was
How,
overwhelming.
how did you manage it?
Well, at some point we had to refund. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had to refund at some, for some people that we could cater to, we did. And then refunding basically, and then really apologizing. But it really took a toll on the business at the
Mm.
time, till the staff that we had resumed, and then the ones that we had to hire at the time. But overall,
Yeah,
it was
that sounds
overwhelming.
like a horrible place to be, but it also sounds like a cultural thing because like
Mm,
December people go back home
yeah.
and some people just don't return.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of people having to deal with that with their maids, right? Your maid goes to the village and then she just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't come back,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guessing the same that happens with some of this workers. But that was 2022 December 2022. You've done 2023, 2024 now. How have you mitigated that problem?
Okay, so we let customers know ahead of time that we would not be resuming at so date.
Oh, okay.
Please just order what will stock up.
Okay.
And okay, because sometimes they come with this, especially when you have to have a social media closure or like chat with the person you think is the owner of the business, and you're like, oh, please, can you help me out, my baby, this, that. I bought this, but and then you're tempted to, okay, let me just do something for you. But we're like, we did not even post nothing. We shut out at least 2 weeks. We give them a resumption date of like 2 weeks later,
Okay.
where we had already resumed, to get everything
Oh,
in
oh,
place.
oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
so
smart. That's smart.
yeah, so by the time they were ordering that we had opened, we were already set.
Yeah, you already said.
Yes.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart
Mm,
because it means you've now reset the expectations,
thank you.
and you can manage the relationship better.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good actually. Um, we're closing this episode,
Hmm.
but I want you. What's one advice you have for entrepreneurs, like anybody who's starting a business? Maybe they start a business and the business is struggling. What's one advice you'd give them that has helped you?
Okay. I don't know if the word is overflogged or overemphasized, like consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It might never ever start out all rosy, but just stay at it. One day, somehow, or one person would locate you, and then that's the
You
turning
can
point,
change
and
everything.
it changes everything. Yeah, so
Mm.
just basically consistency. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
thank
stay
you,
consistent.
thank you so much for that. We're also going to try to constantly put out episodes of this. Um, but yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for spending this time with us and sharing your story with us. It's been a really interesting one. I've learned a few things about PAP and about how to run a food processing business. Where can we find your business?
Okay, so we're currently located at Ikeja, number
Yeah,
6 at Jao Road, Ikeja.
yeah.
We're at some select stores like Global Supermarkets, Jendol, some basically about 4 of Jendol stores, and almost all of Global Supermarkets around in Lagos. And then we have store case as well, and then you can find their handle or their numbers on our Instagram page at Papuna Foods. Yeah, so
So if someone wanted to order, they could order directly from your Instagram page at Papuna Foods.
they could order, and also check our store case. We always put up the store case as they come, and as the stores we start to supply, we update our customers. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. That's it, guys. Check out, buy healthy infused, fruit infused, and nuts infused paps from Papuna Foods on Instagram. And with that, we've come to the close of this episode. Thank you for staying with us. This is Build Your Own Business, the podcast where we talk to real entrepreneurs about their stories and their journeys. Remember to like, share, and follow Uze on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. See you soon.